Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about cadence. Present or master shimasho. This is the 7th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de okane o muda ni suru no wa yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you to become a better speaker, to be 1. Clear, 2. Confident, 3. Persuasive, and 4. Highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcasts hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Touches in no Oshie show. Wednesday, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 332. And today we're talking about the 5-minute cadence when presenting. Normally, a talk for a business audience will be around 40 minutes long. That seems a lot until you start putting the talk together, and you always feel you don't have enough time to include all of the cool information and stories you have at your disposal. The absolutely wrong way to start is to harvest slides from previous presentations and then start cobbling together all of the visual pieces and make that the talk. Why? The format for a presentation has various cadences, and we need to master each stage. That requires planning and rehearsal. I would guess 99% of business talks are given once, on that day, to that live audience. What that means is that the talk wasn't refined through rehearsal to make it sparkle and for it to fit perfectly into the time allowed. Business people buy bespoke clothing and shoes because they want these items to fit perfectly, and we should apply the same logic to making our talk fit perfectly for our audience. The start and end are 2 specific cadences with clear purposes and so are easy to understand. ADD, or Attention Deficit Disorder, is now a global pandemic affecting all of our business audiences. That is why the opening has to break through that attention deficit problem and grab everyone's attention. The process starts from the moment we arrive before the audience to check all the tech is working and to start engaging with listeners as they enter the room. We want to build a personal connection, which will make it more likely that they will actually pay attention to us when we start. It also continues the moment we are being introduced. Often there is a lunch before our talk and we are placed on the table with all the big shots. I don't recommend getting up from the table and walking to the stage. As soon as the MC begins their introduction of us, we should stand up and off to the side so that we are clearly visible to everyone right from the start. This gives the audience the chance to look us up and down and get through that initial judgment they make on how we are dressed and how professional we look. It also makes it smoother and quicker to mount the stage when it is time to start. We get straight into the opening, using our blockbuster statement to grab attention, to tantalize the listeners with what is to come, and then we can introduce ourselves and thank the organizers. Preferably, someone else is switching the slide decks over or getting our slides up. We don't want to be distracted from focusing on our audience, especially at the start when all of those first impressions are being created. This standing up, getting on stage, and getting started takes around about 5 minutes. And we try and break the 40 minutes into 8 5-minute blocks. Our talk has been rehearsed, so we know exactly how long each section takes. Find out more. We come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do them in both Japanese and English. We do them in our super safe classroom and live online. On the 12th of April, we'll have our Dale Carnegie course. It's our flagship program. Only we've got it. Brilliant program. 100 years in the making, this course, so you can imagine refinement. You can imagine the Kaizen that's gone into this program. It's a global program, 30-odd languages, 35 I think it is. Gets taught in over decade upon decade upon decade. You know, and business changes. But this course has changed too, but the essence of it has not changed, which is really how do we help ourselves to get on better with others? How do we become a clearer, more concise communicator? How do we become a leader people want to follow? How do we deal with our stress? How do we challenge ourselves to step up and step forward and take on bigger roles and be more successful in our business and our career? That part has not changed. And this is consistently one of the highest scoring products, if I call it a product, of course is a product, that we have in terms of our surveys after the course. The reason is because this is a life-changing program. Now, that's a big statement, life-changing program, and it is. One of the most common things I hear from people who are graduates is, this course changed my life. That is amazing, but I'm not surprised. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever because I know how powerful this course is. Another powerful course will be on the 20th of April, which is our high-impact presentations course. Massive one-on-one coaching. 2 instructors, one in the room, one in the review room, everything videoed, massive feedback, coaching. Just constant for 2 days in the main modules. Brilliant. Absolutely a course you cannot neglect. Now, I know myself, I should have done this program when I was in my 20s, except I didn't know it existed. I wish I had. Would have changed the trajectory of my career without a doubt. And it'll do the same for a lot of other people too. And it doesn't matter what your age and stage is now, do it. It'll still change the future for you. Go to our website at www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value there for you. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching video, then we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Welcome back. We are doing all the talking, and that can be tiring from an audience to sit there and listen to us blabbing away. We need to have it planned such that we switch up the action roughly every 5 minutes. This is using what is called a pattern interrupt, so that the listeners are not getting what they expected. Expectation in audiences lead them to daydreaming and leaving us as their thoughts take over. They stop taking in what we're saying. Or even worse, they are now looking at their phones. We might use a great visual we have selected, or we might change our energy during the delivery. Classical music has its cadences from highs to lows to highs to make sure we don't get bored listening to it. Our talk can copy this idea. Maybe we drop our voice down to a conspiratorial whisper. Or we raise it to stentorian heights. It doesn't matter, because the point is to use our energy to create a change which adds interest to what is going on. We don't want to be predictable, because this is when attention will stray on the part of the audience. The end cadence is actually split into two parts, before the Q&A and after the Q&A. We can use a summary of our key points or a call to action and man the barricades. We need to put a bow on this talk and draw the whole apparatus together so that the main message remains the message the audience retains. We switch over to Q&A, which invariably will take the whole talk off track, and there is no way of controlling that. What we need to do after the Q&A is to repeat our summary or call to action. We must monopolize the messaging for that audience and make sure they get what we want them to get. Naturally, the talk won't fit into precise 5-minute segments, but the key is to regularly change the content, the energy, the delivery, the flow, so that we keep a stranglehold on the attention of the audience and no phones are being surreptitiously engaged instead of concentrating on us. There is no doubt that this outbreak of ADD, combined with the mobile phone, has made our task as speakers so much more complex and fraught. We can rage against the iniquities, or we can adjust what we are doing to overcome these challenges. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.